Hello everyone, Lore Master of Sotek here, and today I wanted to do another video recommending potential changes to Total War Warhammer, like how I did with the Kislev video last week, though this one will be considerably shorter. As for today's video, I'm going to be tackling a much smaller subject that I think can make for a better play experience that perhaps isn't thought about terribly often just because it's an older piece of content. As I'm sure you've guessed by the thumbnail, for this particular video, I'd like to focus on the Green Knight and how the experience of using him as a Bretonnian player could be vastly improved. As one of the first legendary heroes, so to speak, that entered the game back in the days of Warhammer 1, the Green Knight has sort of been quietly kicking ass over in the corner with not too much attention on him over the years. He actually has received a few updates to his performance in battle, ensuring that he continues to perform as one would expect for the legendary defender of Bretonnia. On the campaign side of things, however, he's remained pretty much untouched. Currently, the Green Knight acts as a reward to the player once they reach new levels of chivalry within a Bretonnian campaign. For each tier, you unlock a use of summoning the Lady's Champion to appear upon the campaign map at the location of your legendary lord. The Green Knight then remains around as a usable legendary hero for roughly 25 turns that you can have join one of your armies. On the surface, this isn't a bad use of the character, but it is incredibly simple and frankly a boring one. He cannot be used as an agent in any way, shape, or form. The Green Knight provides zero benefits on the campaign map other than joining an army to massacre your foes. The only thing that the Green Knight gains from appearing on the map is that he can be equipped with ancillaries and magic items, but this is not really worth the effort, as eventually he's going to vanish back into the shadows to go do whatever the Green Knight does on his vacation time. Probably something to do with the Lady of the Lake's bathwater. In any event, we should completely, in my opinion, delete the Green Knight from the campaign map. I don't think he should appear on it in any way, shape, or form. He doesn't do anything other than temporarily take up a slot in your army that could be going to another hero or another unit. Instead, what we should do with the Green Knight is that let's take his uniqueness and dial it up to what I feel is a natural evolution of the character. His entire focus is to be an absolute badass on the battlefield, to come riding out of the trees themselves to protect those in need or strike down monstrous foes. He's a guardian spirit, an actual ghost who vanishes just as quickly as he arrives, unlike similar entities such as Nakai the Wanderer or Grombrindal, who have genuine physical forms despite their mystical natures. What I suggest is for the Green Knight to have a unique mechanic where he is an army ability for Bretonnia instead of a temporary hero unit. So when the player activates the ability to summon the Green Knight, it adds an active power to all of your battles for the Bretonnian player as the Lady's Champion rides to their aid no matter where the fighting takes place. So if you activate your summon the Green Knight ability on the campaign map, all of your battles for the next 25 turns have the ability to summon the Green Knight to join your side. This would allow for a powerful hero to appear in any battle you have, reinforcing all of your armies and even your settlements should they come under attack during the Green Knight's duration. Furthermore, he wouldn't take up a slot in any of your armies, so you could run full 20 stacks without having to disband a unit to fit him in. He already doesn't do anything on the campaign map, so literally nothing would be lost by him migrating to this new mechanic. Also, just to be crystal clear, despite being a summon, he shouldn't degrade in any way, shape, or form, and he shouldn't have a timer. If you summon him onto the battlefield, he comes on as a fully unbreakable character, and he lasts until the battle is over, or he dies. I think for the effect of him appearing on the battlefield, just using something like the Awakening of the Woods spell animation, or something along those lines, should be perfectly fine. Just like an explosion of magical trees and such that heralds the arrival of the Green Knight riding out to do battle. This change would be far more lore accurate to the character, and would also be like a fun callback to his original appearance in the Bretonnian trailer, where you see the siege of Bordello, right? You see the siege of this Bretonnian city, and good old Lord Generic Albrecht gets smacked by a Vargeist and is about to get absolutely munched on, when the Green Knight, seemingly out of nowhere, appears out of a flash of green light, kills the Vargeist, and is like, all right, you're on your own now, and then he runs off. Obviously, he should stay around longer, but I much prefer the idea of him being like his lore, and I also think it makes him far more effective in the campaign, where he just shows up as you need him, and just, can appear anywhere on the battlefield. Which, frankly, not only would make him a lot more fun to use, but I think just vastly increases his utility on the campaign map. Because then you don't have the issue of, oh, I'm going to summon the Green Knight, but he's only going to appear where my Legendary Lord is. Well, if I'm playing as Lewin and he's like way up in Norska fighting Norskins, then I summon the Green Knight. The only thing I can really do is remove a unit from Lewin's army and slot the Green Knight in there. Either that, or I have to try and time it for when my Legendary Lord is home, so that I can put the Green Knight in somebody else's army, but then he's only supporting a single army for that turn duration, and then he's gone until the next summoning, which is dumb, and I hate it. It feels very, very weak for the character, and it's very boring. The Green Knight is supposed to appear to really challenge the foes of Bretonnia and defend the Sacred Lands. Now, I don't think that we should limit the mechanic, especially because it's a timed exclusive type thing, where I guess if you wanted to make it like 100% lore accurate, which I would not recommend, it would probably be more of a system where he only shows up if you're fighting in Bretonnia, and he shows up mostly for, he just shows up in battles there, because that's kind of the way he works. But because he already has a timer where you have to earn the ability to summon him, I think it's perfectly fine that he should be able to show up anywhere as long as, you're the one fighting. So he can show up to support any of your armies in battles, regardless of where they are in the world. And he also can show up to any of your settlement battles. So, if you're playing as the Fey Enchantress and one of your settlements is under attack, let's say, Castle Carcassonne is under attack, then the Green Knight, so long as you have the ability active, you can use that with your defenders in your siege battle. So the Green Knight comes charging out, and you can summon him anywhere on the battlefield, so he can, appear outside the walls to attack your enemy and start like laying into their siege weapons, or try and kill their support characters if they have support characters out and about the battlefield. Or you could summon him inside the walls, so you have that really heavy hitting melee character to help all of your defenders fight as they're defending the gate, or they're defending one of the fallback positions. I think it just makes him a lot more exciting and a lot more natural to use, while also being a far more accurate representation of how he's supposed to function. But yeah, the other thing is that I don't think this would be difficult for the developers to implement either, at least from my fairly limited understanding of how the game design works. But making the Green Knight to where he just migrates into an army ability should be extremely easy. And also should eliminate a lot of the issues of like where he appears on the campaign map and a bunch of other weird shenanigans. You don't have to worry about like trying to place him within armies, or what happens when his army dies, like how long is he gone for, where does he respawn to, what happens if he gets targeted by an enemy character, all those other things. I think that would just make it all so much simpler. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Please let me know down below in the comment section what you think about changing the Green Knight into an army ability. Also, I would actually really love to hear from y'all what particular topics within Total War you'd like to see me tackle next. I specifically would like to really focus on things like legendary heroes, some changes to legendary lords, units, and stuff like that. I'm not really I think in the near future looking to tackle things like sieges right now. Like, I do have thoughts on sieges, but I'm still kind of formulating those. Well, I guess to say I'm already working on that, but that's going to be a while. Because I'm still kind of hemming and hawing about how I think they could handle certain things to try and make it more interesting. But anyway, that's it for this one. So thank you all so much for watching. Just a nice short video, and I'll see y'all next time. Thank you very, very much for coming by. Love your faces. Really appreciate you just dropping in. Take care.